of Ogden. So we're talking about Snow Basin, Powder Mountain, even a little bit of Nordic Valley action going on
Nordic,
tonight.
getting a little love there. I love
and then
it.
into southwestern Wyoming. That's kind of where everything's kind of streaming right now as of this evening.
Let's take a look at your forecast.
Yeah, let's go ahead and check it out. So this is a live look up at the Alta Snow Stake, of course, 9,600 feet. They've picked up, last I checked, 14 inches in the last 24 hours, and they are sitting at a now quote-unquote midwinter base depth, over 80 inches, sitting right at 87 inches. Again, last checked about an hour ago, so those totals could have changed over the last couple of minutes. But here's where we are as far as seasonal snowfall. This season at about 214 inches, so we're getting close to that halfway mark as far as our average season totals up at Alta. That average is right around 500 inches as we get into the second week of April. And last year, I mean, there's no comparison. We were close to 400 inches last season and just getting nuked on every single day, just days and days of snow, heavy snow at that. But look at these 48-hour totals, rather impressive over the last 2 days. Solitude topping the charts with 27 inches, over 2 feet at Brighton and Alta as well. Snowbird picking up 21, Deer Valley, Park City 18, Powder Mountain as well. Beaver getting in on some of that action up in the northern Wasatch Front, 16 inches, Sundance 15 as well, Snow Basin 14, Eagle Point 9, Bryan Head 8 inches. So a little bit of snow down in southern and central Utah as well. But here across where people live, we actually had a pretty good amount of snow as well. Saratoga Springs picking up 7 inches down in Utah County. Cedar City 6 inches. So they got a pretty good band of snow that moved through last night. Tooele 5, South Jordan and Kanab 3 inches. Kanab, that's a pretty good number there. And Hurricane, even some measurable snow down there in Washington County. We're tracking, again, like I said, that lake effect band, but you can see there's a bunch of snow showers around the periphery, so it's not purely lake effect. In fact, it's mostly just lake enhanced. So we get this westerly flow across the lake, points straight at Weber and Davis County, and that's where we're seeing the heaviest snow right now. But like I said, things have kind of lightened up over the last, let's say, an hour to an hour and a half, but we are still seeing some light snow starting to fill back in on portions of I-15 there, just west of Ogden. So this is how much additional lake effect we could see through the generally a trace to 2 inches. The highest totals will be up in the mountains. Cottonwoods maybe picking up 2 to 3. Park City could get in on that, but most of the snow will stay up in the mountains. So we've got some first alert weather days. We have one today, but it's kind of a first alert weather day junior. There's not a widespread impact here. It's mostly isolated, but our next storm rolls in late morning Friday, lasting through late morning Saturday, and that's for northern and central Utah. Pretty big storm rolling through. Not much of a break between these two storms. Another one fires up Saturday right around the lunch hour, lasting through most of the day on Sunday. And again, that one mostly favors northern and central Utah, but I wouldn't rule out a couple snow showers down towards the likes of Cedar City or in southeastern Utah. So we've got these winter storm warnings in effect for our mountains here across northern and central Utah. We're still waiting on this winter storm watch to be upgraded across many of our valleys along the Wasatch Front. But check out this red coloring. Most of southern Idaho is now under a blizzard warning for tomorrow and Saturday mostly. We're expecting insane wind speeds down at the ground levels, and even if it's not snowing, none of this snow has really had time to settle or melt, so we can get some blowing snow over the roads and create whiteout conditions with near zero visibility, and that's what we're expecting there in southeastern and southern Idaho. So if you have any travel plans heading up maybe to Boise over the next couple of days, I would strongly recommend taking a second look at that and potentially even canceling it. Our wind speeds here across the state of Utah start to pick up Friday morning, and through much of the day we could be seeing those wind speeds ourselves close to 40 miles an hour across much of the state. 48 this 1 mile is going for up in Rock Springs, and then that wind lasting through much of the day on Friday and into the evening hours. So like I said, even if it's not snowing, you can still see blowing snow, that snow blowing onto the roads, or both reducing visibility and creating some slippery conditions out there. So here we go, Friday morning, right around the lunch hour, this band of snow starts to work its way into the state, and the heaviest snow will likely be overnight into early Saturday morning. And it's not going to be a huge storm, but what is going to be is this storm that rolls through Saturday afternoon and through the day on Sunday. We could be seeing some really significant snow totals even here in the valleys, and then up in the mountains we're going to be measuring this one in feet. There's no way that we can measure it in inches. So here's what some of the models are saying: anywhere between 2 inches to maybe as much as 8 inches by Saturday morning here in Salt Lake City. And that's just the first storm. When we're talking about the total through the weekend and into President's Day on Monday, we're going to be measuring this one in feet along the Wasatch back and potentially getting up towards the foot mark here across the Wasatch Front as well. So down in St. George, pretty quiet, pretty mundane weather, so to speak, over the next couple of days. You will get a couple cold fronts passing through, creating some gusty conditions at times, but mostly just some partly cloudy skies. Temperatures in the mid to upper 40s, might even get to 53 there next week. Salt Lake City, we've got those 3 first alert weather days here over the next couple through the weekend, and that's where the significant snow is coming. Saturday and Sunday, those temperatures staying in the mid 30s, so any snow that falls is going to stick to the roads. Upper 20s on Monday, and then I got to bring up the Cottonwood Canyons forecast. Big snow coming this weekend, and tomorrow, I don't even know if I'd head up tomorrow because they're going to be dealing with wind holds. We're talking wind speeds 50 plus miles an hour or greater. It's going to be really hard for them to open lifts, never mind open terrain, because they're going to have to do a ton of avalanche mitigation and all that stuff. So Brian, we might have to wait until Monday to get out there and enjoy the slopes.
Honestly, it's going to be a hectic weekend no matter where you're going, I think. Obviously, there's easier modes of transportation. If you're heading up I-80 towards Park City, you might have less issue. If you're heading to Snow Basin, you mentioned Snow Basin. We always deliver with Snow Basin. Some light snow on the stake
Maybe
there.
about 16 inches out of this one.
How about that?
That's
Pillows.
pretty good. Yes, it's that nice, light, fluffy snow, the stuff that just glows over your head and hurts your face a little bit. We experienced that last night, didn't we?
Yes.
We're getting a little bit of
As we
some
were
face
out
shots
there
outside
here
at 2 News Live at 5:30.
At the Gallivan Plaza. Yeah, if you missed that, by the way, a lot of you have checked it out. Go back and check it out on our YouTube page right now. Thank you, Trent. As always, if you would like to keep in the know with what's going on weather-wise, if you're on the go, if you're sitting on the couch, you're not watching a show, you can always know about the changes in your neighborhood. You can get updated forecasts. You can get all of that live radar right at the palm of your hand. Very easy to do so by downloading the 2 News mobile app. Let's continue to go in depth on this. Conditions not as intense as they were yesterday. It was more broadened locations, right? Definitely of concern for some areas from northern parts of Utah all the way throughout the Wasatch Front and even beyond further south. So as we have a live look here in Sunset, we also are going to get a live look from our mobile weather lab, the AG Amanda Gilbert in the passenger seat tonight, not driving, but making sure we know what's going on the roads. Amanda, what are you seeing? Where are you at tonight?
I want to say, I know it took you an hour to get home to Midvale last night. I got good news for you. I don't think that's going to happen again tonight. It is such a difference out here, night and day, literally. I'm going to turn the camera around. So earlier, my photographer and I, we were on I-80, looked dry, was no problems driving on that. Some of the other interstates in Salt Lake County also looks good, so we wanted to check out some of your main roads and side roads to see how those look. I know the sun has set now, so it might be a little harder to see, but to be honest, a lot of your main roads in Salt Lake City don't look bad either. There might be some areas that might be slightly partially snow covered on the side, might be a little slick, so be careful, but for the most part, it's amazing how different 24 hours, what a difference 24 hours makes. Yeah, very, very different, Brian. Sending it back to you. So I know you had to drive when things were really bad last night, and you just saw just how snow covered the roads were.
I experienced it. I was talking to someone today, Amanda, who took 3 hours to get from Salt Lake City to Saratoga Springs, getting stuck on Redwood Road because of the closure of Mountain View Corridor. I wasn't that guy, so I felt pretty good about my hour. Have a safe drive tonight. Thank you, Amanda.
Yeah, no problem.
Let's take a look at some of the traffic concerns right now. Definitely a little bit different than what we saw yesterday. Taking a live look from our UDOT camera right now. South Weber, they're crawling up that little exit ramp there near I-84. This is the area where we saw snow stick pretty good throughout those lake effect bands that move through, and you can still see it there. It looks like 84 traffic is okay, but if you're looking in this area here, the exit ramp still packed down with some of that snow. Let's get a look at your drive times there. Look at the top of your screen. That's the area of big focus in the Weber County, Davis County line location. You can see spots that are red right now. You can see the orange in the mix. That means it's not typical freeway speeds, where here in Utah we can gun it compared to where I grew up, where everything was stuck at 55. You can't do 70 in those spots, and if you're thinking about doing it, you're not going to get very far, nor should you. Let's look at some of those drive times, shall we? Salt Lake City to Farmington, just fine, 15 minutes. Farmington to Layton, again, 6 minutes. But the real concerning locations would be in the Layton area, heading up towards Ogden, dipping about 30 minutes with speeds averaging 28 miles an hour. Let's take a look at the map there south of Salt Lake City towards the point of the mountain and south in Utah County. Some slowdowns there in the Provo, Orem areas, depending on what side of I-15 you are on. So let's look at those drive times so you have a better idea of what you're looking at or what folks are looking at. Maybe you're keeping in touch with somebody who's driving tonight after the last couple of nights. Maybe they're saying, oh boy, am I going to get stuck in this again? Well, look, green means go. Salt Lake City to Murray, 5 minutes. Murray to Draper, 10. Draper to Lehigh, 14. All good there, at least in the southern portion of the Salt Lake Valley right now. Continuing to go in depth with more of our team coverage tonight. Some snowy highways led to really difficult travel conditions last night. No real way to sugarcoat it. Drivers said they spent hours, like myself, trying to make it home. Hour, you can remove the S. But what made conditions worse yesterday than the storm before that? So keep in mind, it's Thursday now. Wednesday was really rough. Tuesday was tough. Ariel Harrison joining us live now after getting some answers about those massive delays. What did you find out today?
Yeah, so we had storm on Tuesday, storm on Wednesday. I was out in the mobile weather lab, Brian, on both of those nights. And I want to say Tuesday night, as I was out on I-15 around 10 o'clock for our newscast, freeways weren't in too bad of shape. We were able to get around where we needed, maybe going a little bit more slowly than we normally would be, but there wasn't much buildup on the highways. However, stark contrast. We just heard Amanda talking about how it was a night and day difference from last night compared to tonight. The last night around 10 o'clock, Brian, in the weather lab, it was snow-packed in some of the areas on the freeway, and there was massive backup that was taking place specifically on southbound I-15. I know it wasn't the only area, but there was a lot of traffic jam there, and I'm told that played a part. Well, that happened for a couple of reasons. The intensity of this storm, they had a lot of snow that fell in storm number 2 this week, so on Wednesday night, and also the timing. This happened in the middle of rush hour traffic. So as people were trying to get home, the normal rush hour traffic we have, they were getting slammed with this storm, and it caused crashes, it caused slide offs, and caused traffic jams, not just near Point of the Mountain. There were plenty of other places as well.
Ariel Harrison been on top of it the last couple of nights and avoiding the mobile weather lab tonight. I don't know if it's a good thing or not, but always look forward to having you there in the front seat. I know you're doing your live shot here for 2 News Live there in the front seat of the vehicle, so at least you won't be driving through most of it tonight. Ariel, thank you. So with temperatures dropping tonight, Salt Lake County has actually issued a code blue. The state mandated program is designed to protect people experiencing homelessness, those that are unsheltered during extreme cold weather. Those alerts allow shelters to expand and find some new locations to hopefully protect people from the cold when the temperatures, including the wind chill, drop to 15 degrees or even lower for 2 hours or more. That's the criteria for more than about a 24-hour period. And the county is looking for volunteers to help staff some of the locations.
The volunteers that are coming are finding it to be a great experience, and there's nothing more gratifying than feeling like you've really helped your community in such a direct way.
For a full list of those shelters or to visit any of these locations, you can help by going to volunteer visit endutahhomelessness.org. With more snow falling in our mountains, the avalanche danger is staying high. Danger is considered high in the mountains above Logan, Ogden, Salt Lake, Provo, and in the Uintas. Backcountry travelers urged to avoid slopes greater than 30 degrees. That is typically the advisement when a lot of this unsettled sort of pack is out there right now, and anyone heading into the backcountry should be really equipped with proper avalanche gear and training. I will say this comes a day after there was an inbound slide, a deadly slide in the Lake Tahoe area at Palisades. So inbounds or not, keep your wits about you. Covering southern Utah, normally our southern Utah communities are known for that sunny and warm weather. It's the place to escape to, right? Northern Utah, you got me, but many residents got a small taste of the snow that we've been dealing with here in the north. First Alert Weather Team says some southern Utah towns saw a couple of inches of snow, part of last night's storm. A lot of the video that we have for you here is from the hurricane area. Cedar City got nearly 6 inches of snow. Let's take a look at some of the weather photos and videos that you have been sending to us via Chime In. The old trusty Scott Taylor. Not old, but you know what I mean. We always get Scott on the air, and we appreciate it. Normally it's in form of great drone video. You can tell Scott is just working it from the ground there, checking out the snow in Magna. And if you see some good shots, if you take some, love to see the plows at work, like to see you shoveling. Sorry, not breaking your back over it, but putting a little work to clear the driveway. We'd love to see that. Of course, your beauty shots, share it with us by using the Chime In feature, which you can find on the 2 News mobile app, also on our website, KUTV.com. Another live look once again at the Earls Plaza. They've got the fire going still. Maybe we should do a fireside 5:30 here at Earls Plaza, equipped with some of the best cuisine there is in resort land here in Utah. Among other things, there's bathrooms now built nearby, just some of the upgrades that they've been doing there at Snow Basin. But things have begun to wind down for the day at Snow Basin. No night skiing there, but they've made a lot of additions to their lift fleet and other improvements and upgrades just over the last few years there. And it's great to see that they are getting the benefit of some of that lake effect tonight. Reminder, you can find 2 News live on your phone, your tablet, or your computer, and you can always stream it easily on the KUTV mobile app, Stern, News On, and YouTube. They are all free to download in the Apple App Store or Google Play. So I wish we had your graphic again too, because I wanted to just break down resort by resort by resort, looking at the different totals depending on the areas. Seems like everybody got something.
At least something, yeah. Literally every single resort across the state received, I think it was at least 7 or 8 inches. So over the last 2 days, those are pretty good numbers, especially when you get resorts that don't get a whole lot of natural snowfall. We're starting to boost it. And yeah, send us those Chime In photos. We're starting to get enough snow that you can start to see those snow sculptures taking place. You know, those people get really creative with their snowmen, their snow castles. There it is. Look at that.
There you go. I was going to tap you on the shoulder to say it was over your shoulder. Take a look here. So some of these places, we're not surprised. Your 4 Cottonwood resorts, right? Alta ski area, over a couple feet there. But this is gonna look a little different in the coming days, right?
Yeah, or it'll look very similar.
Similar when you keep the 48-hour total,
yeah,
versus a 72.
We're going to be seeing a lot of double digits over the next couple of days. And I like that one UDOT cam that we had earlier of the off-ramp, because when I was driving home last night, right around 10 o'clock, I took I-15 and I get off at 4500 South. Now, the highway wasn't too bad. In between the lanes, there's a little bit of slush. But as you get off the freeways and onto those exit and on ramps, I mean, it was super slick. I was going about 20 miles an hour down that
right
off ramp, and then, you know, making that corner around. So please be safe out there tonight, even if the roads you're currently driving on are just wet or maybe dry. You know, you just have to get off onto the side streets, and then things change drastically.
A quick shout to always who jump into action during the storms. Obviously, our plow drivers, not just UDOT. I mean, there are county plows, there are local crews in city.